West Bengal has long been synonymous with electoral democracy and electoral bloodshed. For over 5 decades, every major election cycle has brought with it a familiar shadow: political violence, intimidation, and the cynical use of muscle power to capture votes. And today, as results for the 2026 Assembly elections are set to be declared on the 4th of May, history warns us that the stakes are not just about who wins, but whether the state descends once again into chaos. Let us trace this unbroken chain from the turbulent 1971 elections to the present. It began in earnest in 1971, when West Bengal was reeling from the aftermath of the Naxalite movement and ideological clashes between Congress factions, CPIM, and extreme left groups. The state was under the president's rule, and law and order had effectively collapsed. And as the assembly elections approached on the 10th of March 1971, violence escalated dramatically. Three candidates were murdered during the campaign: Bangla Congress leader Devdatta Mondal, Forward Bloc's Hemanta Kumar Basu, who was shot in broad daylight in Kolkata, and Congress O candidate Piyush Chandra Ghosh. Across the state, clashes between CPIM and CPI-ML cadres claimed hundreds of lives. Maoist terrorists targeted security personnel, and in total, hundreds were killed in the weeks leading up to the poll. The situation was so grave that the Election Commission and the state administration requested and received military assistance on an unprecedented scale. Nearly four full divisions of the Indian Army, which meant thousands of troops were deployed across 16 districts and Greater Kolkata. Flag marches became routine, and this was one of the largest peacetime internal security deployments in independent India's history. The army's presence helped conduct the polls, but it underscored a bitter truth: democratic exercise in West Bengal had become contingent on military oversight, and the 1977 elections brought the left front, led by the CPIM, to power. Many hoped the end of the Congress era usher in stability. Instead, the left institutionalized a new form of political dominance through what critics called party society, absolute control over panchayats, local administration, and coercion networks was prominent. The CPIM used organized cadre violence to maintain its grip. Rural Bengal saw systematic elimination of the opposition, and land reforms were accompanied by selective enforcement that rewarded loyalists. And dissent was met with intimidation, social boycotts, or worse. Incidents like the Senbari killings and later events such as the Marich Jhapi massacre in 1979 highlighted the cost of resistance. By the 1990s and 2000s, the left's hold relied increasingly on muscle. The 2008 Panchayat and subsequent assembly polls were marred with widespread allegations of booth capturing, voter intimidation, and post poll reprisals. But the left's eventual downfall in 2011 came amid massive protests against land acquisition in Singur and Nandigram. Protests met ironically with state backed violence that cost lives and galvanized the opposition. The culture of using violence to win and retain power had become deeply entrenched in Bengal's political DNA. And the Mamata Banerjee's TMC, who rose to power promising an end to the left's reign of terror, once in office from 2011 onward, quickly filled the vacuum. The same playbook: control through intimidation, cadre dominance at the grassroots, and selective enforcement continued. Political analysts and opposition parties have documented how post 2011 violence first targeted former left workers, then shifted to new rivals, particularly the BJP in the recent years. Panchayat and municipal polls under the TMC's rule has repeatedly seen reports of clashes, murders, and voter suppression. The state's infamous bomb culture, crude explosive manufactured locally, have become even more pronounced. And in the last 15 years of TMC's governance, security forces have repeatedly uncovered and dismantled crude bomb making factories and illegal weapon caches across districts such as Birbhum, Murshidabad, South 24 Parganas, Malda, and Howrah. Hundreds of crude bombs, pipe guns, and live cartridges have been seized in single operations during election seasons alone. Recent pre-poll drives recovered over 800 crude bombs in 1 week, with dozens of illegal arms units busted in the recent weeks. This is not sporadic crime, it is a pattern enabled by political patronage, turning parts of rural Bengal into a cottage industry for electoral weaponry. To secure an unassailable base, critics argue that the TMC leadership deliberately cultivated a strategy of demographic engineering. You see, West Bengal shares a porous border with Bangladesh, and allegations persist that under TMC rule, illegal immigration from Bangladesh was not just overlooked, it was even facilitated to create a captive Muslim vote bank. Opposition parties and independent observers point to anomalous spikes in voter lists in border districts, rapid changes in demographic profiles, and resistance to National Register of Citizens style exercises. This, they contend, was not mere humanitarianism, but a calculated move to manufacture an inalienable vote bloc. The cost compromised national security. Infiltration networks have been linked not only to demographic shifts, but also to cross border smuggling of arms, fake currency, and radical elements. And by prioritizing electoral arithmetic over border integrity, the state's leadership placed party power above the nation's safety. As the 2026 assembly elections conclude, multiple independent exit polls project a significant challenge to TMC's dominance, with the BJP gaining ground or even leading in several projections. Although Mamata Banerjee has dismissed them outright and is claiming a sweeping victory. Yet, her own words from a March 2026 public address reveal a chilling worldview. Speaking on the alleged importation of Muslims, she stated that it is because we are here that you all are doing well. And if we are not there, it will take only 1 second. When a certain community unites, when they surround you, in 1 second, they will finish you off completely. And this statement has been widely interpreted as an implicit warning. Without TMC's protective umbrella, a particular community could unleash violence against others. It underscores the dangerous communal polarization that has accompanied TMC's vote bank politics. But history is clear. Whether under the Congress, the left, or now under the TMC, poll related violence in West Bengal stems from one constant: the willingness of those in power or of those fighting to retain it to use anti-social elements, crude bombs, and intimidation rather than ideas and votes. And if the exit polls prove accurate and TMC faces defeat on the 4th of May, the state must brace for potential large scale disturbances. The discovery of bomb factories and weapon caches in recent weeks is not coincidental. Antisocial elements embedded in the political ecosystem will likely attempt to create anarchy to delegitimize the result. Central forces, which have already been deployed in strength, must remain vigilant. The Election Commission, the judiciary, and the citizens must demand accountability, because true democracy cannot survive if losing power means unleashing chaos. West Bengal deserves better, free, and fair polls, secure borders, and governance that puts people, not vote banks, first. That cycle must break. And the choice has been made. Come 4th May, the future of Bengal will be decided. Jai Hind!